More than 185 million people across the eastern half of the United States are bracing for sweltering temperatures and heat indices that could reach up to 120 degrees. The highest temperatures will be focused in the southeast from the Carolinas to Florida, where extreme heat indices are forecast to be between 105 and 115 degrees. Overnight lows are expected to fall only to the 70s or higher, providing little relief from the sweltering conditions. Large portions of the southeast are under an extreme heat risk at a 4 out of 4 level, including major cities such as Atlanta, Charlotte, and Jacksonville. Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyers argued in a brief to the Supreme Court that she should be granted an appeal of her 2021 sex trafficking conviction due to a non-prosecution agreement with Jeffrey Epstein. The defense claimed the agreement was unqualified and applied nationwide, not just in Florida, where charges were initially brought. Federal prosecutors countered that the agreement only bound the Southern District of Florida and did not extend to New York, where Maxwell was subsequently charged. The Supreme Court is set to review Maxwell's petition. Colorado head coach Deion Sanders disclosed that he was diagnosed with an aggressive form of bladder cancer, but after surgery, his oncologist considered him cured. Sanders plans to oversee the Buffaloes this season as he enters his third year at Colorado. He had his bladder removed as part of the surgical plan and is expected to return to campus soon. Republican Rep. Nancy Mace is moving closer to launching a campaign for governor in her home state of South Carolina. She told Fox News Digital that she will make a decision in the coming days, and if she launches a gubernatorial campaign, we're starting out front in the lead. Mace would be entering a crowded GOP primary field in the 2026 race to succeed term-limited Republican Governor Henry McMaster. Longtime Fox News media field producer Robert Shaffer died on Saturday after a long illness, the company announced. Shaffer first joined Fox in 2000 and covered news across the world, including wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, Israel, and Lebanon. He also produced numerous stories on Boeing and made regular trips to Alaska, where he covered drilling permits and the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. Shaffer's quick wit, hard work, kindness, and Midwestern charm made him a favorite of field teams throughout Fox News media. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum has fast-tracked the reopening of the Santa Ynez oil platforms in the Pacific, despite opposition from Senator Adam Schiff and Representative Salud Carbajal. The move is expected to bring 80% of regional production back online by the end of the year. The Trump administration has navigated a slew of permitting and regulatory roadblocks to achieve this goal. A suspect is in custody after a shooting at the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno, Nevada, left multiple people injured on Monday morning. Authorities responded to an active shooter report around 7:25 a.m. local time and located the suspect within 4 minutes. A shootout occurred, and the suspect was taken to a hospital for treatment. Police said there were no further threats to the public. Cincinnati police have identified at least 4 suspects involved in a violent brawl that took place in downtown Cincinnati on Friday night. The fight, which was caught on viral video, left 2 individuals seriously injured and several others hurt. Authorities are still trying to identify 8 more people believed to be involved in the attack. Police Chief Teresa Theet called the behavior cruel and absolutely unacceptable, and vowed to hold those responsible accountable. Sydney Sweeney is facing backlash over her latest campaign with American Eagle, which some have accused of being tone-deaf and promoting Nazi propaganda. The ad features Sweeney crossing out the word jeans on a billboard and replacing it with jeans. Sparking criticism at the term great genes has historically been used to celebrate whiteness. While some fans defended the ad, others called it entirely tone-deaf and accused American Eagle of promoting racism. The brand's campaign also includes 3D billboards, a Snapchat lens, and AI-enabled try-on technology. Representatives for Sweeney and American Eagle did not immediately respond to Fox News Digital's request for comment. President Donald Trump revealed that he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of his Florida estate, Mar-a-Lago, after the financier attempted to hire his employees. The incident reportedly occurred in 2004, prior to the investigation into Epstein's crimes. Trump stated that Epstein did something that was inappropriate while visiting his home, and added that he had previously turned down an invitation to visit Epstein's island. Conversations surrounding Epstein have remained in the national spotlight in recent weeks, with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche traveling to Florida for meetings with convicted accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, EEOC, has found reasonable cause to believe that the Providence Public School District in Rhode Island was unlawfully discriminating against white teachers by offering a student loan forgiveness program exclusively to non-white educators. The EEOC's investigation, which began after a complaint from the Legal Insurrection Foundation, found that the district's Educator of Color Loan Forgiveness Program violated Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The program offered up to $25,000 in loan forgiveness to new teachers who identified as Asian, Black, Indigenous, Latino, biracial, or multiracial. The EEOC has directed the district to contact them within 10 days to indicate their willingness to participate in conciliation to address the violation. U.S. President Donald Trump praised British Prime Minister Keir Starmer for taking a stronger stance on illegal immigration, saying he's doing a fantastic thing. The two leaders met at Trump Turnberry Golf Club in Scotland on Monday. In June, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection reported the lowest monthly total of illegal border encounters in its history. Meanwhile, Starmer's government has facilitated the removal of approximately 35,000 people from the UK since taking power in July 2024. The Labour government unveiled a sanctions regime targeting migrant smuggling gangs and other entities facilitating small boat crossings. U.S. President Donald Trump announced a ceasefire agreement between Thailand and Cambodia, ending a conflict that displaced 260,000 people. The deal was brokered through trade negotiations, with both countries agreeing to halt hostilities and begin talks on implementing the ceasefire. The agreement comes after Trump spoke to the leaders of Cambodia and Thailand over the weekend, urging them to end the fighting. The conflict began last Thursday after a landmine explosion along the border wounded 5 Thai soldiers. At least 35 people have been killed in the clashes, with thousands more displaced. The U.S. has welcomed the ceasefire declaration, with Secretary of State Marco Rubio praising Trump's efforts. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt also called for Trump to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his role in brokering the deal. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, has arrested 214 child sex offenders in the Houston area over the past 6 months, with many of them being previously deported individuals. The arrests are part of a whole-of-government approach implemented under the current administration to combat the surge of illegal immigration. ICE highlighted 5 cases where individuals were arrested for immigration offenses and had been convicted of sex crimes involving minors. The agency says the rise in arrests is a direct result of this approach, which has led to historic numbers of violent criminal aliens being removed from the country. Acting Field Office Director Paul McBride stated that while there is still much work to be done, the strides made in making local communities safer are substantial. Former NBA player Marcus Morris was arrested in Florida on July 28, 2025, on a felony fraud charge related to writing a check with insufficient funds. The arrest occurred at an airport, and Morris is being held without bond. This is not the first time Morris has been in trouble with the law. He entered a diversion program in 2012 after being charged with battery, and was also charged with aggravated assault in 2015, along with his twin brother Markieff. Morris played in the NBA from 2011 to 2023-24 season, playing for several teams including the Houston Rockets, Phoenix Suns, Detroit Pistons, Boston Celtics, New York Knicks, Los Angeles Clippers, Philadelphia 76ers, and Cleveland Cavaliers. Brian Kohberger, the killer of 4 University of Idaho students, remained calm during his first police interview, speaking at length about his PhD program before abruptly shifting focus to his parents, his dog, and his constitutional right to an attorney. According to a newly released police summary from the Moscow Police Department, Kohberger acknowledged receiving a crime alert from Washington State University, WSU, and admitted, The Democratic Party has hit a 35-year low in favorability polls, with only a third of those questioned in a Wall Street Journal survey saying they held a favorable view of the party. The unfavorable rating for Democrats is at an all-time high, with 63% holding an unfavorable opinion. This marks the highest unfavorable rating for the party in a Wall Street Journal poll dating back 35 years. An armed bystander, identified as Derek Perry, a Marine veteran, stopped a knife-wielding suspect who stabbed 11 people at a Walmart in Traverse City, Michigan, on Saturday. The suspect, Bradford James Gill, was taken into custody without injury and faces terrorism charges and 11 counts of assault with intent to murder. The victims, ranging from 29 to 84 years old, were all expected to survive, with 1 released and 5 listed in fair condition. The Office of Personnel Management, OPM, has issued a new memo to federal agencies, requiring them to protect religious expression in the workplace. The guidance, sent by OPM Director Scott Kupper, ensures that federal workers can display Bibles, crucifixes, or mezuzahs on their desks, and pray in groups while off-duty without fear of reprisal. This move comes after President Trump's executive orders on eradicating anti-Christian bias and establishing a Religious Liberty Commission. Liberal comedian Bill Maher admitted that he was wrong about President Donald Trump on tariffs in a podcast posted Monday, saying the economy is thriving despite his initial predictions of a recession. Maher made the admission on his Club Random podcast as he explained that he's always truthful with his audience during a conversation with progressive YouTube host Brian Tyler Cohen. Reverend Al Sharpton, a prominent MSNBC host, has denied President Donald Trump's claim that he was paid to endorse former Vice President Kamala Harris in the 2024 election. According to FEC filings, the Harris campaign made 2 $250,000 donations to Sharpton's nonprofit organization in September and October. Sharpton conducted an interview with Harris ahead of the election, but did not inform viewers of the contributions or the conflict of interest before or after the interview. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller criticized California leaders, including Governor Gavin Newsom and Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, for prioritizing the sheltering of illegal immigrants over rebuilding areas devastated by wildfires earlier this year. The wildfires caused an estimated $28 billion in property damage to Los Angeles. Miller stated that the effort put into sheltering criminal aliens could have fully rebuilt the Palisades with time and money to spare. A PhD student at UC San Diego's Scripps Institution of Oceanography spotted a rare purple sea snail, known as janthina, on the beach in La Jolla, California. The snails are typically found in subtropical to tropical seas and have not been seen on San Diego beaches since 2015. According to experts, warmer offshore waters may be responsible for their appearance. The snails can reach about 1.5 inches in height and secrete a purple ink that can leave a stain. Republican Rep. Mike Collins announced his candidacy for the U.S. Senate in Georgia, aiming to challenge Democrat Senator Jon Ossoff in next year's midterm elections. Collins, a Trump ally and conservative lawmaker, highlighted that this is Georgia's moment to take back control of the Senate seat and deliver on President Trump's America First agenda. Luigi Mangioni's defense team is accusing the federal government of providing bare-bones, vague allegations in their death penalty case against the accused United Healthcare CEO killer. In a new court filing, the the defense is asking a federal judge to require the prosecution to hand over information surrounding allegations intended to be proven at the sentencing phase of Mangione's death penalty trial. Mangione is accused of gunning down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan on December 4, 2024, before fleeing to Pennsylvania. Federal prosecutors allege Mangione used a homemade ghost gun to shoot Thompson twice in the back, with authorities believing the killing was ideologically motivated due to the words "deny, delay, and depose" written on the ammunition found at the crime scene. The FBI is investigating a death on board the Carnival Dream cruise ship, which occurred during a 6-day Western Caribbean voyage. The incident happened around July 23 when the ship was in the area of Belize City. Passengers reported being awoken by sirens and hearing an announcement requesting medical assistance on the adults-only Serenity deck. The FBI's Houston office is coordinating with the U.S. Coast Guard, Customs and Border Protection, and the cruise line regarding this incident. A Carnival spokesperson confirmed that a death had occurred, stating it was standard practice for the FBI to review deaths that occur on cruise ships. Auburn Tigers men's basketball coach Bruce Pearl criticized President Barack Obama over his statement on the hunger situation in Gaza, saying he failed to demand that Hamas return the hostages it has held since the October 7, 2023 terror attacks. Obama suggested aid must flow to Palestinians regardless of whether Israel can secure a hostage deal. Reporting from Fox News' Trey Yingst has indicated that hunger is indeed spreading across the region, however. While meeting with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen at the time, Trump stated that Europe has not provided aid to Gaza and that Hamas is stealing much of the aid being sent to Palestinians.